So, hello everybody, how are you? So, yeah, I am Harsha, the operation manager of WissionTalks, and here with me is the. So first, before that, can you guys hear me and can you guys see me? Just give some
Yeah,
reply in the
yeah.
chat, or can you just put some icons? Audience, yes, you guys can hear me and see me, obviously. So awesome then. So we have good number of audience this time. And hopefully the session is going to be give you a lot of good insights to you guys. So we'll just directly get and step away right directly into the session just after a brief intro of what is Vision Talks. Okay, so let me give you an introduction by just sharing a screen. So I'll just start sharing my screen. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So if you guys can see the screen and it says hello, welcome to Vision Talks, just give me a reply in the chat box. Awesome. Yeah, you guys can see. Okay, hello everybody, welcome to Vision Talks, and I am operation manager of Vision Talks, Sai Harsha, and joined with us is the one of the good speakers, and you'll get to know regarding him sooner. So let's go to the second page, and our vision is to bridge the gap between successful entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. So this is what we do, and legal aspect is a really crucial thing in the journey of entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur or the CEO or the company need to know how to legally manage their startup or company. So our vision is mostly like hashtag Nino Local. We bridge down, we connect the local people to the local people who are successful, we are local people who are not successful, and make sure that they achieve their goals in a pretty good amount of time. Then, so that's how what we do and why we do it. So a recorded version of this webinar will be record available in YouTube and as well as Facebook. It's streaming there live, and you can't answer the questions, ask the questions there, but you can ask the questions over here. But if you wanted to check the video out, it will be there live recorded. So not a big issue. Then ask to remember questions. So I guess you guys are pretty familiar with Airmeet. If you're not familiar, so ask the questions in the questions tab, wherein if you have any questions to pose, we have a question and answer session also. We'll have a question and answers round wherein you can ask a lot of questions and we can get an answer from speaker. Make sure that you will be engaging with the questions which speaker says and reactions over here, the emojis and all those in the chart, and do use those emojis properly. And if the questions are asked, you can use those. Cool. So that's how, and let's directly step into the speaker, and I'll introduce the speaker. So the speaker is Mr. Subh Jha. Uh, he's from West Bengal, Kolkata. So he's so far from here, and the session is regarding legal aspect of startup, and we found no one else better than him. So he is
Thank you so much.
the yeah. So he is the chief executive officer of Legal Salah. So it's a company which is running from past 4 years and 10 months.
1.5 years.
4.5 years. So awesome. And he's also a chief financial officer of Growth XO. So he has done a lot of. He is being part of a lot of companies, and he has a lot of knowledge in legal and compliances of a company. And I hope this session will be very useful for everybody in legal aspect, and also to succeed their business, so that they won't get into a trap and they don't miss out those legal standards. Okay, I'll directly step into what's and see what speaker says, and hopefully everyone will be enjoying this session. And please don't forget to ask the questions. Yeah. So
Thank you, Harsha.
yeah. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hope you are safe or everybody is safe and doing well. So my name is Shubh. As you know, rightly, like he told that I am, the CEO of Legal Salah. Basically, I just give you a very small brief about the Legal Salah. Legal Salah is just kind of a one-stop solution for the startup and SMEs who looks to start the business, or they want to grow or scale. We help them in entire compliances, their taxation. We help in their financial strategies. We help them to grow their business in and around in like competitive atmosphere. So coming to the point where we today we gathered to discuss is the legal entity which all startups or new entrepreneurs, they always get confused about what to there are a lot of entities are available in India to start the company, but you have to understand what your the entire infrastructure, your mission, vision, everything aligns, has to be there with the your what structure you are choosing for your entrepreneurship journey. So, I actually don't have the presentation for you guys, because a lot of we have a high surge in the customer base because of this COVID. So we have to uh, take time. Some that will be, I'll share you with the everyone who's there with connected with the LinkedIn or Wilson Talk. I'll definitely share the presentation for you guys for the to get the referral review of it later on once I'll complete my entire session. So coming to the point, number one, the entities which there in India is sole proprietorship. Okay, before going into deep diving into it, what I will do is I will discuss one entity after another, and I'll after giving two entities entire discussion, we'll have a question and answer, and thereafter we can move to the another entity, so that your question and answer get resolved at that particular time. So coming to the point, like the first and the foremost, the most important, you know, uh, company the entity which we need to understand is a private limited company. So what it is private limited? So private limited is basically a legal entity which gets incorporated under Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the Companies Act 2013. So I won't be using much of the legal jargons. I'll try to explain in easy ways, so that it gets into your head and you understand that the difference between the all the entities and which entity is suitable for you. So coming to the private limited is basically uh, two persons who want to start who start a entity, and this entity itself is a legal entity. Why I'm calling it legal entity? Because it gets registered with Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and you can carry your business throughout India, not only in the state which you are registering. Apart from the state which you are in, you can even have a corporate office all over India. For an example, Reliance has a registered office in Mumbai, but it carries its operations throughout India, even abroad. Similarly, most of the questions what we get, okay, so do we have to register multiple of state if we go to register a company? No, straight no, because you have to register one place in which you want to have your register office. After that, you can have a corporate office in the different state, different city, wherever you want to conduct your branches, or you have a liaison office of it. Now, coming to the structure of the private limited, is that you need a two person who will be the director and the shareholder. Director and the shareholder. Who are the directors? Directors who manages the company. Directors can be of different types that we will discuss in a later webinars. So, they're directors who runs the company, and the shareholders are the owners of the company. So these two can be different. These two can be clubbed at the time of you know doing the incorporation of the company. So now we need two-person who will be the director and the shareholder in the company. Up, there are certain documents is required that is more of procedural documents, KYC, Aadhaar, PAN, and all. We won't get into the documents part, but we will discuss on the structure and its implications with aligned to your mission and vision. So we need two persons who will be the director and the shareholder in the company. We need a registered office. Now this is a very common questions which we get, that so I do not have a commercial space. Whether do I require to have a commercial space to start the company? No, you only have to have a place wherein you have you suppose can be residential, it can be commercial, it can be rented, it can be owned. You just need a address to show that this is where I want to register my company, and you need some documentation proof of it. So director, office, register office, and some more documents that like bank statement and all that is required to create a company. Now under Companies Act 2013, establishing a company is very and very simple. Previously, it used to have an affidavit, notary, these and that. Now everything has been abolished. It's very simple. It's just you have to, give the papers to your consultant, your CA, your CS, anyone whom you are doing with, and it gets formed within a timeline of 10 to 15 working days, right? This is a structure. Now coming to the why private limited and why not any other, and what is the benefit we will be getting, to register with the private limited. So benefit is the most important benefit what we get as a private limited is the trustworthiness. you know Trustworthiness, why? Because in your entire data, in MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, once you get registered, all your data, everything, gets stored in the public domain, and anybody can, suppose anybody is your vendor who can, they can have their access directly to the MC, and they can see whether this company, what is your financial cost to the entire journey of your company. So all your details is publicly established in the MCA, and anybody can have access to it. So this gives the trustworthiness to any vendors or clients who want to work with you, right? So this helps in creating a brand positioning or trustworthiness in the market. And second benefit what we get is, you know everybody somewhere or other want to have a capital access, external capital access. What I'm suppose you guys have your own funds, you put in that, you come to a MVP, but what next? You go for funding stage, right? So in funding stage, why, how this exchange happens, like what you give, that you get the money, you give the shares, right? Shares is a script, you may say shares or script, whatever it is. So that shares has a value. Whatever you do for the company, their value, that script or that shares is what is an asset for the company. That you dilute those shares, that dilute your percentage in the company, and you take the funds against the shares. The only company, the only entity which has this shares is only the private limited. So by default, you know, those who want to raise funds in later future, or those who's looking to raise fund next 2 or 3 months, due to COVID, a lot of startups, have lost their runways. So in that case, they have to go into, funding. And for the funding, they have to have a shares to dilute, right? The share is very much important for everyone in the company, in the person who wants to have a, 1 minute, I guess I am getting the, okay. So it's very important to have a shares if you want to raise the fund in later future. Number third benefit what we get in the private limited is the taxation support. So like the taxation support is, after within like 2 or 3 months back, there's an amendment where, you get 25% of only the tax which has to be paid if you're making the profit in the company. So 25%, and there's plus 0.5% of surcharge. So total is 25 to 26% of tax which you have to give. Compared to if you're in a partnership, then it is 30%. In sole proprietorship, is 30% on the profit. I'm not talking about the income. See, this also has to be very much clear that income tax which we give is not on the revenue. What we do is on the profit after the entire calculation of EBITDA and all those, whatever the net profit we get, that on that profit we pay the income tax on the percentage which is prescribed as per the entity which you are in. So now if you compare to, a private limited or a partnership, sole proprietorship, or your LLP, we have the private limited is a lesser in the tax payment rather than any other entity. So tax benefit is there for the private limited. Fourth, and the last but not the least, what we get in the private limited is the benefit of loss. So, what is the benefit in the loss? The benefit of the loss is, suppose I'll just give an instance, like, so if I am for next 3 years make losses, right? I make a loss cumulative of next 3 years of 10 lakh. Next fourth year, if I make a profit of 11 lakh, right? I don't have to pay on the 10 lakh rupees. That 10 lakh will get. Can we deduct losses to reduce income tax payment? Uh, can I answer you once I complete the entire session? I'll answer your question.
Yeah, so basically all the questions will be answered later to the session after the info is given by the speaker. So please again ask your questions in the questions tag, not in the chat tag. So we will see the answers in that questions in that. So after speaker completes the discussion, we can go and ask the questions. So speaker,
Thank
please
you.
answer the questions later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hope things are okay.
Yeah, it's all
Is
okay. It's all okay.
So now, where I was, yeah. So the fourth benefit is you can carry forward the losses, right? So carry forward the losses means that you can, fourth year, if you have 11 lakh of turnover, sorry, profit, you don't have to pay the income tax on 10 lakh which you have lost. Only 1 lakh, on 1 lakh you have to pay the tax. So these are the four major benefits. There are a lot of other benefits, but these are the major benefits which we get in the private limited. So this is about the benefit what we get in the private limited. Now, coming to the the comparison to other entities, private limited is always a wider scope. It has, you don't have any turnover limitations. You don't have any director. There's a 200 directors you can add until the company is there. Bank debt is very easy to get in the private limited rather than any other entities. You can convert your private limited any day. If you want to do IPO or anything, you can convert your private limited to a limited company and you can file an IPO. So these are the lot of benefits which we get in a private limited. And yeah, the most important is the startup India recognition. In basically, private limited has a fair likely chance to get a startup India registration rather than any LLP or a registered partnership firm. So with this, I'll conclude. This is the basic structure of a private limited with the taxations, with benefits, with the So basically, if we conclude the entire private limited discussion, is that if your mission and vision is to grow your business with you want to raise a fund, you want to grow your vision, and the mission is to grow your business for next 5 or 10 years, you should choose private limited rather than going any other entities, which will help you to have all your accounting, all your books in place, so that you can easily cross your due diligence at the time of the funding as well. So this, from with this, I'll done with my private limited discussion. So now anybody can ask the questions. I'll love to answer.
So yeah, we have a question from one of the audience. They say it's like, is it Ministry of Profit Affairs? I think
Corporate,
it's Ministry of
corporate.
Corporate Affairs. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And yeah, and it's also for offices in different states, a new
Mm-hmm.
GST IN comes into picture. So another registration is required, is what the question is being asked by one of the
No,
person.
no. Actually, there's no other registration is required. You just have to add the state in your current GST number. There's a GST certificate which you get. Just have to add a new, the GST state in it, additional address, what we say, and keeping the GST number same, so that you can avoid the GSTIN. Basically, it's a IGST what we get. Suppose I am taking the assignment from any other state, then I have to pay the IGST if I don't have the GST in that particular state. But if I have GST in that particular state, then I won't get into the IGST. I will get into the SGST and CGST, so that I can take the benefit of the input.
Okay. So yeah, there's another question which says, can you differentiate between the director and the shareholder from the roles perspective?
See, basically, directors are the basically the board of, you have heard of board members, right? So board members are the directors in the company who takes the management decision, who has a sole responsibility to run the business, to run the show, to take all the administrative and management decisions. But shareholders are the basically the owners. Basically, in private limited, both are somewhere or other, get clashed. But if we look at a large scale, when we talk about limited companies, shareholders and the directors are the two different person. You know, shareholders are the only owners. They are not concerned about what is happening in company. They only concerned about the revenue. They only concerned about the dividend what they get out of the company.
Yeah,
Right? Directors are they have the owners to run and make the company profitable.
understood, understood. So yeah, there is another question which asks that is director identification number DIN is required for registering a private limited company? Is it
Yeah,
required?
yeah, definitely. Like DIN number is kind of a PAN number. Like for every individual, we get the PAN, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, whoever who become try we wants become a director, they are allotted with
Mm-hmm.
a separate number so that they can have a distinguished who are the who
Mm.
this. Suppose I am director in the four companies, right? So with my number, people can see that okay, I am in these four companies, right? To
Okay,
maintain the
understood.
database, basically, they give this number.
So director of for being in so many companies is possible, is what you're saying.
Yeah, at
Okay,
up to 20 companies.
up to 20 companies. Okay, okay, understood. So there is another question similar to this: is CTO, CEO are the directors, or I think they are mostly employees, or
See,
they?
yeah, it can be directors also, but see again, if you go with it's depend on the structure of the company, right? If it is small company, director is the CEO or CFO. If you go to a
Yeah.
bigger companies where they have the structures, the CEO might be hired person in the company or elaborate when they get with promotion they become the CEO or the founder become the CEO. So CEO is basically it's just a management term. Though the person who's heading the show is a CEO. That's it.
Yeah,
It's not
understood.
that it has to be the owner of the company.
Okay. So there's another question which says how many members can form a private limited company? I guess minimum is two, right? Uh,
Minimum two max. Maximum is not defined actually, but maximum it can be for limited is seven. It can be 50, 200. Depending on what structure you're getting in.
okay. So there is a question which is in so many people's mind, but they are not exactly getting the difference between LLC, limited liable partnership,
I'll
and
come
also
to it. So
okay,
I
we'll come to
have
that.
to
Okay.
explain a bit for next 10 minutes. So
Awesome,
I'll get
awesome. Okay.
continue.
Then there is a question which says how to register .com startup. Like I think it's a technical issue, not a legal issue. .com
.com
and
startup is I don't actually exactly understood what does it mean,
yeah,
but
I mean,
you just have
yeah,
to do the domain, take the domain, and it'll become a .com,
understood
right?
that.
But
So it's
again,
just the domain. Legally, I don't think it's a thing, right?
uh,
It's a technical issue, yeah. So yeah. So okay, I guess we are out of the questions, and if anyone are
no
having
issue.
questions regarding private limited company,
Yeah, I
please
have
put
one.
it
I have
down.
one. Can we deduct
Okay.
losses to reduce income tax payment? See,
Yeah.
basically, I what he wanted to know is that I guess if he shows the losses, his income tax payment will be lesser or not. See, it's not that showing a loss. That loss has to be legitimate loss. Actually, it's not that you just show the loss and you will get the income tax exemption. The loss has to be legitimate, and your books should show that it has been operational loss. Then only
Yes.
you'll
Yes.
get the benefit. I hope
Yeah.
internet knowledge has got the answer. If anything, you can ask me.
Yeah. So typically that, yeah. So losses should be legitimate, is what I understand by that. Okay. So, anyways, so let's go with the
.com is an
next.
internet business like an app-based company. Yeah, yeah. In app-based, you
Uh,
can go with Jakir. In app-based, you can go with private limited. Definitely. Basically, it's a IT company. There's no .com means the IT company. The IT company can have numerous of activity. It has a very large scope and ambit you can work with. That's not a problem.
awesome.
Okay,
Then.
so
So
let's go
continue.
on the second thing that difference between LLP and the private limited.
Yes. Yes.
Govinda. So basically, yeah, sorry for the interruption. So basically, now coming to the second point is that everybody has this confusion that what is LLP and what is the differentiation between LLP and a private limited, and what entity I should choose as per my mission and vision, right? So, see, first I will explain you the LLP a bit, and thereafter I'll do the comparison. Now, LLP is basically a limited liability partnership of a LLP is a advanced form of private partnership. Where in partnership what happens? Partnership, there's a your liability is not limited. Your liability is not limited, but in private limited, what happens that sorry, in a partnership what happens is your liability is an LLP, your liability is limited. Sorry for the confusion. So in LLP your liability is limited, but in partnership is not limited. So to limit the liability of a partner, this LLP comes. Now LLP came in 11, 12. Again, it has been there are a lot of modification with it. LLP's main purpose is to cater small service sectors, like food chains, consultants, and those who into a service sector, but they know their scope is not wider. Suppose I'm an architect, so I know that I won't be going out of my that's skill based thing, and I won't be getting Sikya capital or staff. So basically I will be into yeah not friend, actually it's client Murli. So basically, what happens that in this, what happens like in LLP and partnership, LLP is for the wider. It's not for the wider scope, not for the wider scope, but for private limited, it is or for the wider scope. When you go for the funding, you go for private limited. But if you think that okay, I don't want to go for any external funds, or I don't want to get into any extra fund from the market, you go into the LLP. This is a major difference what we have in an LLP and a private limited, because in LLP don't have shares. There's a agreement, there's a like LLP deed through which entire bylaws get regulated. But in what happens in this your private limited, there's a set of MOA, you have shares, and you have to work things accordingly, right? So this is a major difference between LLP and private limited. There are other views like the compliance cost of LLP is lesser, because you don't have to get an auditor appointed in LLP until your turnover is 40 lakh. In private limited, you have to appoint auditor the moment you get the incorporation done. So because of this, there's compliance is bit less because of the infrastructure they have for catering those who don't want to get into a bigger business. The LP structure is for the small end businesses to whom they want to have very a small scope of work with them and cater the customers. Then the best LLP entities which we have as your food chains, cloud kitchens, the consultations, like those who practices there. Suppose you are into tech and you want to practice, you want to serve as a consultant, you go for the LLP rather than private limited, because the scope is not as much. There's no scalability. There's not much growth in it, right? So this is basically difference between your LLP and the private limited, right? Uh, the another striking difference what we have in LLP and the private limited is about the annual compliances. Basically, this is a FAQ which we get generally is basically what happens like in compliances. Because of the structure, LLP has very lesser compliances and less cost of compliances, because those who are running is not of a bigger businessman. they have the shortage of capital. So keeping this in mind, they kept this LLP compliance portion a bit low cost. The government fee a bit also low, but again, there is not a big scope with which you can work with. Though the compliances are lesser, but the scope is limited with an LLP rather than the private limited. Okay, so these few differences are there. I guess this not actually this is the basic structure difference which we have in LLP, but again LLP and private limited goes hand in hand, right? Those who don't want to raise funds, they go for LLP. Those who want to raise the fund, they go for private limited. Very simple. If you think of one liner difference, this is the difference.
So basically, you are saying a startup which wanted to get investors on board and get more directors on board. It's like it's more preferable to take in private limited company rather than an LLP, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. So there is a pretty decent question from audience. They said, can we change from one entity to another entity? Can we change from
Yeah,
LLP to
yeah.
private limited?
Yeah, you can do, but that will be a bit costly affair for you
Okay, understood.
because you
So
have to
choosing
go and NCLT and then you have to convert. So it's a bit a longer process.
Okay, so choosing the right company right directly first is most
It
preferable.
is.
Yes, I understood. Understood. Okay, so I think the second question has also been answered. Okay, why should someone put an LLP if you have all the advantages in private limited? Is there any disadvantage in keeping private limited and go small?
See, again, keeping LLP is for the short term, might be, right? And for if suppose your vision is to go big, you should choose private limited at the first stage.
Hmm.
Secondly, going down, if suppose your things are not working, you can always convert your private into LLP. There's no bar in it, right? But again, that we have to look into the costing part, right? Because in startup, 90% are bootstrap,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
costing is what is a deciding factor rather than the legal thing,
Hmm.
right? So I guess you can go down if you don't your business not running. You can even put your company a domain company, right? So depends on what and how you want to work.
Yeah, understood. So, is there any major difference between registration cost of LLP and private limited?
Registration cost not much, hardly 1 or 2 thousand of difference, but yeah, in compliances it might be.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a difference.
There's a lot of complaints. And yeah, there is a question which is which is what we wanted clarity that what is copyright and what is trademark and how to gain those.
See, this is very simple way I'll keep it. Like trademark is with the name when we talk about the trademark. Trademark when we with the mark when we do any trade means the mark which is involved in trading does not mean only buying and selling. Trading means the business, right here. So any mark through which you are doing the business is called as a trademark, right? So with any mark which I am carrying my services or carrying my only production, it's we have to get the trademark, right? Copyright is basically gives you protection on the idea, not on an idea actually, but it's something literate which has a concern with the literature, dramatic, architecture, font, size, color. Like logo can be copyrighted,
Mhm.
right? It has a
Understood.
different look. It have font. It has different color combination. It has size differently, right? So it can be copyrighted, but the name has to get trademark. English letter word has to get trademark, right?
Understood.
So this
Understood.
is the difference. So suppose if you're writing a novel, that cannot be trademark because you won't be trading with that book, right? You'll be copywriting to protect your content. Where there's a protection of content, protection of something which is creative, which has a through which you can earn the royalty that gets copyrighted.
Understood. So, what is the process? I mean, is cooperating a big task or is this easy?
No, no. It's not very. tough task. Basically, trademark is you have trademark. First, I'll explain about the trademark, then I'll come to the copyright. In both
Yeah,
the
sure,
cases,
sure.
in both the cases, first you have to understand that whether whatever you are choosing. Suppose in trademark, suppose I choose my company name Legal Salah or your company Wilson. So we have to understand whether this is already available there or not. If there, just drop the idea. If not, then take forward, right? There's a search. There's a website which is very useful. It's called public search. From the public search, if anyone, those you don't have to be technical, anyone can go and search that, giving the class detail also there in the portal. It's public search. There's a public search is there, which is there in the Google also. Yeah, if you're able to show, you can show it on the screen.
So there is the IPIN India government. This is the public sector.
ip.gov.in. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
I will
understood.
find.
So I'll just put that in the chat. Maybe they'll get to know with that. So so this is the thing. So if you go to the link which is over there, you can access this public search. Yeah. So I think that is the thing.
Yeah.
So do you want me to open the thing or else
No,
let it be
let
this
it
way?
be. I'll explain. So, anyways, we are running out of time.
Oh,
So
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
this is a website where anybody can go and search. After search, they can see that okay, this is there. Then you have to take the help of the lawyer or attorney or the consultant, whoever you are access with, and they will help you in filing the trademark. And the trademark gets filed. Start using the TM, and it takes around 6 to 9 months to get the registration certificate. So there's a process that
Wow.
it goes with the first you apply. It goes into Vina codification. It gives you assign your number. Then it go to examination report. That examination report through that goes through the registrar of trademark. It sees that okay, there's no objection, nothing is there objectionable. If there's no objection, they allow you in the advertisement journal. It
Hmm.
stays there for 3 to 4 months if any to wait for the any third party objection, right?
Okay.
If there's no third party objection, then you get the so there's a 3 layer of approval. Else
Understood.
there's
Understood.
no matter of then the purpose of trademark is to give you the exclusive right that will be
Yes.
defeated.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood.
This exclusive right you get for next 10 years, and after 10 years you again have to renew the
Okay.
mark.
Yes. Understood.
This is a
Understood.
trademark in short. And about the copyright is again the same process. You have to search, you have to file, and you have to wait for next 6 months to get the entire approval.
6 months. Okay, understood. Okay, so let me go to some other questions which are here, and can you elaborate a bit on all costs are associated with post registrations and both types? So yeah, they're asking the cost. Elaborate to cost. What are the costs which are included in registering the post registration of both types of company? Something like we need to have
Okay.
compliances
Basically,
trained.
see, it depends on the turnover and depending on the depending on the consultant, on the attorneys or the CA, whatever their fees. I cannot comment into it. But generally, if you talk about legal Salah, we have packages start from 15,000 to it goes to 1 lakh. So depending on the turnover, it starts with we have a package. If you want to discuss in detail, you can contact you or can contact from directly from Legal Salah, and they will get the entire help out of it. They'll explain everything. The
Yeah,
manager.
understood. So yeah, can code or algorithm be copyrighted? Code.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
source code basically gets copyrighted. Algorithm
Okay.
also again, algorithm has to have you know, it comes with some definite result. It shouldn't
Hmm.
be a part of some bigger result. The
Hmm.
result of that algorithm has to be what we say. Has to be in full. The effect has to be in full. If it is only in half or it is a subsidiary of something effect of the full, then in that case there was no copyright. If your algorithm is unique, which will create a new thing which will create a new effect or impact on any of the thing, any of the set of thing which you are algorithm has been developed, then in that case copyright can be done. But if that is incomplete, right,
Mhm. Mhm.
then in that case there is no copyright for it. And code,
Understood.
definitely code, again the source code, all the website source codes can be copyrighted.
Understood. Understood.
Even
So
the UI and UX also can be copyrighted, and you might be hearing about the legal war that has been going with the Geo and the
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yes. And the Startup India schemes benefit the applicable to all types of entities?
No, it's only for registered partnership deed, registered partnership, your LLP, and your private limited.
Okay, only these three. No sole proprietorship is not
Only
there
three,
here.
only
Okay.
three, only three. Yeah,
Okay.
only
Understood, man.
only three, and again the age has to be less than 10 years
Okay, okay. Of the company, right? Okay.
from the companies.
Yeah. So, oh, I like that's
We can arrange another webinar on Startup India particularly.
awesome. That would be great. Then I think our audience will be very interested to be there because I also have a lot of doubts over there. Yeah, we will
Yeah,
have a
sure.
particular seminar. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I guess if you want to continue on some other topics, you can also continue,
I
or
guess
else we
we
can
are
go.
done with the comprehensive details, right?
Yeah.
The basic requirement which is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Rest, we can arrange it. The next
Another.
webinar
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the Startup India might be with the suitable time and might be on Sundays. That will be better because a lot of disturbance in working days.
Understood. 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 Awesome then. Okay. So guys, please check out this legalsalah.com wherein you get a lot of information. I'll try to share my screen and show you how cool this website is. Yeah. So this is, I think, yeah. So this is legalsalah.com wherein you get a lot of places wherein you can register all types of companies starting from private limited, limited liable partnership, trademark registration. They made it so simple and they give the basic structure of how the costs are being cut for each thing. So there are a lot of things, legal documentation, legal services. You can find literally everything over here. There's also a lot of clients for them who are really big and like Fuji Films and Clean Dry. So please go sure make sure that you check out over there and get legal advices from there. Just our speaker is also a part of it. I think they're a really good company, and you can also ask online chats. There is a lot of things over here. So please make sure that you
Thank you,
utilize
WhatsApp.
this. Yeah, it has the WhatsApp chat also. So yeah, so everything is there over here. So please go to Legal Salah and you will get a good legal advice from this, and also you can incorporate you can get it incorporated easily. So
Something.
yeah, that's on Legal Salah.
Thank you, Harsh. Thank you so
Yeah, sure,
much.
sure.
Thank you for
It's our
hosting me.
pleasure. Awesome.
Pleasure,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's actually great. I was in touch with the speaker from a lot of time, and it was great to get him on board. And I think it was very useful session. And I hope if everyone liked the session, please push that emoji of like and those all, so that we will be hosting on several sessions on this. Okay,
Sure.
awesome. Okay, then let us. If you so, can you give me any contact details of yours, or can you say how our audience can connect with you for any kind of
They can
advice?
connect me on the LinkedIn. This
Okay.
LinkedIn is Shubh. I'll just write. I don't know. I'll able to see the chat. Is Shubh Jha, or I'll
Yeah, yeah.
just LinkedIn profile.
Okay, super. So, so Subja, right? Go there and try to get in contact with LinkedIn, and so that you will get a lot of legal advice. Okay.
So they can get
How
connect me
much?
on the LinkedIn. Sorry.
Yeah, that I think that's it. That's it. So, if how much should a startup pay if it's registered as private limited in initial stages and its revenue below 1 lakh? Okay, awesome. I guess that's a question from FB. I think the live stream which is happening in FB, they're asking this question.
Okay. What's the
Okay,
question? Please come again.
it says what is the startup pay, the starting initial pay which is required to register as a private limited company?
See, initial pay is comes around 9,500 depending on the services what we want to take. But the basic is come to around with the packages and it's 9.5 somewhere.
Okay,
A lot of
awesome.
things, lot of things are there. Company, GST, MSME, chair certificate, everything is there.
Cool, cool. Okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. So it depends on the how much services you wanted to get to know, and yeah. So here we have a feedback link, the W3 feedback slash. So please give your feedback. That is most useful for us to continue the same session with more engaging manner. And also, I have dropped the LinkedIn profile of the speaker. So you can click on that LinkedIn profile and go and contact with him. So that's we Vision
Thank
Talk right now. Yeah.
you.
So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
Shub.
much.
So that
We will
it was really
definitely looking
great. It was
forward for the next session
awesome,
with
awesome.
lesser disturbance. I'm really very sorry for the disturbance caused
Uh,
because of
yeah,
the
yeah.
okay,
It's
and
okay.
hope
It's
we
okay.
can have from next webinar we'll have a even we'll have the presentation as well.
Awesome, awesome. Presentation and next webinar. So, guys, please check out the next webinar updates on our LinkedIn page, Instagram, Facebook page. We will be spreading all the messages around all the social media platforms. So, make sure that you will be there and join the next session also. And yeah, feedback is must ensured. You need to give the feedback. So, that will give us a good motivation and it will give us good understanding of what we are doing and how we are doing it. So, thank you, Sup. Meet you in the next
Thank you so
session.
much,
I'll
brother.
give,
Keep
yeah, yeah. Thank
keep up the good work. Bye. Take care,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Be safe. Be
Thank,
safe.
yeah.
Be
Peace.
stay at home. Okay.
Hmm.
Bye. Take care.
Awesome, awesome. Bye bye.